The words you speak to yourself in the morning set the tone for your entire day. From the very first moment you open your eyes, your mind begins to shape the direction of your thoughts, your choices, and ultimately, your destiny. Morning is not just another beginning. It is the soil in which you plant the seeds of the day. If you start your day with doubt, negativity, or self-criticism, you build walls around your own progress before the world even has a chance to challenge you. But if you start your day with power, faith, encouragement, and purpose, you create momentum that can carry you through obstacles, silence fear, and strengthen your resolve. What you whisper to yourself in the quiet hours of the morning becomes the compass that points you either toward greatness or toward mediocrity. This is why being intentional about your morning self-talk is one of the most powerful habits you can develop. When you wake up, your mind is most open to suggestion. Your subconscious has been processing thoughts while you slept, and now it's waiting for direction. This is where your words matter more than you realize. Too many people begin their mornings with complaints. I'm so tired. I hate this job. Today is going to be stressful. Those words are not harmless. They are instructions. They instruct your brain to look for fatigue, stress, and negativity throughout the day. And just as easily, you can flip the script. You can tell yourself, I am strong, I am capable. Today, I will make progress. Today, I will rise above. These words aren't just empty affirmations, they are building blocks of mindset. When repeated daily with conviction, they begin to shape your identity, your energy, and your outcomes. The truth is, you become what you repeatedly tell yourself. Every morning is an opportunity to program your mind with beliefs that move you closer to your goals. It doesn't matter what challenges you faced yesterday. When you wake up today, you have a chance to renew your thoughts, to reset your energy, and to rewrite the narrative of your life. The morning is a sacred reset button. Too often, people underestimate its power because they think small words can't make a big difference. But words are energy. Words are seeds. Words are forces that can either chain you to the past or free you into the future. When you wake up and declare powerful truths over yourself, you are not lying to yourself. You are reminding yourself of who you truly are beneath fear, insecurity, and distraction. You are aligning your spirit with strength rather than weakness. Think of a soldier preparing for battle. Would he begin the day saying, I am weak, I will probably lose, I don't have what it takes? No. He affirms his training, his courage, and his readiness. That is what your mornings must become, a preparation for the battles of the day. One of the most empowering things you can tell yourself each morning is that you are capable of handling whatever comes your way. Life will not spare you from difficulties, but your perspective determines your strength. When you say to yourself, I can handle this, you activate resilience. You give yourself permission to face the day with courage instead of fear. Another powerful declaration is reminding yourself that you are worthy of good things. Many people wake up already doubting their worth, carrying yesterday's mistakes into today's potential. When you declare worthiness each morning, you break cycles of shame and step into a mindset that attracts opportunities rather than repels them. The words you speak to yourself every morning are not just motivational phrases, they are anchors for your soul. They remind you that you are not powerless, that your story is still unfolding, and that today has potential waiting to be unlocked. When you begin your day saying, I choose peace over chaos, I choose gratitude over complaint, I choose growth over stagnation, you are programming your mind to filter your experiences through strength and positivity. This does not mean that challenges won't come, but it does mean you will face them with a different posture, one of resilience instead of defeat. Imagine the difference between two people starting their day. One wakes up and immediately says, I'm tired, I don't feel like doing this is going to be a long day. Their energy is drained before they even step out of bed. The other wakes up and says, I am grateful for another chance, I am equipped for today, I am moving closer to my dreams. That person carries a fire that pushes them forward, even when things get difficult. Both face challenges, but one is already defeated internally while the other has armed themselves with victory in their mind. That is the power of morning declarations. The discipline of speaking life into yourself every morning is also about consistency. It's not about saying it once and expecting instant transformation. It's about saying it until it becomes who you are. Just like training a muscle, the mind grows stronger when it is fed the same positive reinforcement day after day. Over time, these words stop feeling forced and begin to feel like truth. And when you believe them deeply, you live them authentically. Another thing to understand is that what you tell yourself in the morning has the power to silence the noise of the world. Before society, social media, and negative people have a chance to fill your mind with doubt, you must establish your foundation. If you declare to yourself, I am confident, I am focused, I am walking in purpose, then no outside voice can shake you as easily. You will find yourself less reactive to criticism, less distracted by comparison, and more aligned with your vision. You must also speak faith into your mornings. Tell yourself that doors are opening, that breakthroughs are coming, and that your effort is not in vain. The words you speak can stir up expectation, and expectation fuels action. When you believe good things are possible, you work with greater commitment. And when you work with commitment, results begin to show. It's not about wishful thinking, it's about aligning your spirit, your thoughts, and your behavior with the outcomes you desire. Even in difficult seasons, your morning words matter. When you wake up in pain, disappointment, or uncertainty, you still have the power to decide how you will frame your day. You can either tell yourself, this is the end, I am hopeless, nothing will change, or you can declare, this is temporary, I am still breathing, I still have a purpose. Those words won't instantly erase the pain, but they will give you strength to keep going. And sometimes, survival itself is success. Every morning is a new chance to create momentum. Success is not built on grand gestures alone, but on the quiet, consistent affirmations that fuel discipline. When you speak life into yourself in the morning, you give yourself a head start. You don't wait for the world to validate you. You validate yourself. You don't wait for encouragement to come from others. You encourage yourself, and in doing so, you develop independence of spirit, where your confidence does not rise and fall with external approval. The words you speak in the morning set the tone for how you show up in the world. If you wake up telling yourself, I will show up fully today, I will not shrink, I will not let fear decide for me, then you carry a different energy into every meeting, every conversation, and every opportunity. People will feel it, circumstances will bend to it, life responds to the energy you project, and your morning declarations are where that energy is born. So never underestimate the power of your morning words. They are not just sentences, they are blueprints for the day ahead. They are signals to your brain, to your emotions, and even to your spirit about what kind of day you will live. When you choose words of power, faith, resilience, and gratitude, you are choosing a life built on strength instead of weakness, growth instead of stagnation, and hope instead of despair. Every morning, you hold the pen. Every morning, you write the first chapter of your day. And it all begins with the words you choose to speak to yourself. Positive affirmations create inner strength, clarity, and alignment with purpose. The words you speak to yourself become the blueprint of your reality, shaping not only how you think, but also how you act, how you respond to challenges, and how you carry yourself through the world. When you wake up each morning and decide to feed your spirit with powerful affirmations, you are no longer letting the outside world dictate your mood, your vision, or your sense of worth. Instead, you are setting the foundation of your day on truth, faith, and unshakable inner belief. Affirmations are not just words spoken in the mirror, they are seeds planted in the soil of your mind. Over time, with consistency, those seeds take root, grow strong, and bear fruit in the form of confidence, resilience, and a sense of alignment with your higher calling. Imagine the difference between a person who wakes up with anxious thoughts, already weighed down by yesterday's failures, and a person who wakes up and tells themselves, I am enough, I am strong, I am capable. I am blessed. The second person may face the same storms, the same difficulties, and the same uncertainties, but their posture toward life is entirely different. They move through the day not as someone defeated by life, but as someone empowered to navigate it with grace and courage. This is the power of affirmations. They shift the lens through which you see yourself and the world around you. Affirmations create inner strength. Strength is not only about the body, it is about the mind and the spirit. When you tell yourself each morning that you have what it takes to endure, to grow, and to rise above, you are training your mind to believe in your own resilience. Challenges may still come, but instead of shrinking back, you rise to meet them because your spirit has already been conditioned to stand firm. Inner strength means that you stop waiting for outside validation to keep you moving. Instead, your power comes from within, and nothing external can take that away from you. Clarity is another gift that affirmations bring. So often people wake up confused, scattered, or overwhelmed by the noise of life. They allow social media, opinions, or other people's expectations to become the compass of their day. But when you wake up and declare affirmations that align with who you truly are, you cut through the noise. You begin your day with a clear sense of who you are, what you want, and where you are going. For example, when you say to yourself, I walk in purpose today, I will focus on what matters most, you are not only speaking words, you are programming your mind to seek direction instead of distraction. That clarity becomes a filter that guides your decisions and allows you to focus on building rather than wasting time. Affirmations also bring alignment with purpose. Every person has a unique calling, a higher reason for existing. But life has a way of distracting us, pulling us into routines and habits that dull our sense of purpose. Affirmations are like a daily compass that points you back toward your true north. When you tell yourself, I am created for a greater purpose. My life has meaning. Today, I will take a step closer to fulfilling that purpose. You are reminding yourself of your divine assignment. You stop living on autopilot and instead, you live with intentionality. Affirmations align your daily actions with the bigger vision you carry in your heart. There is also a psychological truth to affirmations. The brain tends to believe what it hears repeatedly, whether positive or negative. If you constantly tell yourself you are unworthy, not smart enough, or doomed to fail, your brain begins to create patterns that reinforce those beliefs. But when you speak affirmations daily, you are rewiring your subconscious mind to expect success, to anticipate growth, and to believe in possibility. Science calls it neuroplasticity, the ability of the brain to form new pathways through repeated thought patterns. Spiritually and mentally, affirmations are the tools that create those pathways toward hope and confidence. Some may argue that affirmations are just empty words, but the truth is that words have energy. Words shape worlds. Nations have been built or destroyed by words. Relationships rise or crumble by words. In the same way, your internal dialogue, the words you speak to yourself, becomes the silent architect of your destiny. Affirmations are not about ignoring reality. They are about shaping your reality by choosing a perspective of faith, resilience, and purpose. Consistency is key. Speaking affirmations once in a while will not create deep transformation. Just as exercise strengthens the body through repetition, affirmations strengthen the spirit through daily practice. Every morning, before the world speaks to you, you must speak to yourself. That discipline creates a protective shield around your mind, guarding you against negativity and doubt. When you consistently declare affirmations, even on days when you don't feel like it, you are training yourself to rise above emotions and live anchored in truth. Think about how you start your mornings. Do you rush out of bed, already overwhelmed by what the day holds? Or do you pause, take a breath, and remind yourself of who you are becoming? That small shift changes everything. Instead of walking into the day reactive, you walk into it proactive, with a heart set on faith and a mind anchored in strength. Affirmations are the fuel that turn ordinary mornings into purposeful beginnings. Affirmations also help you fight back against fear and insecurity. Fear whispers, you can't do this, you're not enough. Insecurity says, others are better than you. you will fail, but affirmations answer back with truth. When you declare, I am capable, I am worthy, I am chosen, you are silencing the voice of fear with the voice of faith. That battle happens in the mind every day, and affirmations are your weapon to win it. Over time, affirmations shape your identity. You begin to see yourself differently, not through the lens of past mistakes or external judgment, but through the lens of who you are becoming. Your confidence grows, not because life suddenly gets easier, but because you know you are rooted in something unshakable. People around you may notice the difference. You walk taller, you speak with more confidence, and you approach challenges with a mindset of victory instead of defeat. Affirmations also carry spiritual weight. When you align your words with truth, you are speaking life over your spirit. There is power in declaring things into existence. By speaking words of faith and strength, you are aligning with the greater power that designed you with intention. Your affirmations become prayers, declarations, and commitments all at once. They are not only for your mind, but also for your soul. It is important to remember that affirmations are not magic formulas. They are commitments that must be followed by action. Saying, I am disciplined means little if you do not back it up with daily habits. But affirmations prime your mind to act. They remind you of who you are and push you toward behaviors that align with those words. They are the bridge between belief and action. When practiced daily, affirmations create momentum. Momentum is one of the most powerful forces in success. The more you declare truth over your life, the more you live in alignment with it, and the more results you begin to see. Each morning builds on the last, and soon you find yourself transformed, not by one big change, but by small daily affirmations that shaped your thoughts, your actions, and ultimately your destiny. Positive affirmations create inner strength, clarity, and alignment with purpose. They are the invisible threads that weave the fabric of resilience. They are the compass that points you toward destiny. They are the anchor that holds you steady in storms. Each morning, when you choose to affirm who you are and who you are becoming, you are not just speaking words. You are building the life you were designed to live. Repeating empowering truths every morning rewires your mindset toward success, peace, and resilience. It is not just a ritual of words, but a practice of reshaping your subconscious, shifting your inner atmosphere, and giving your spirit direction before the world places its demands on you. When you rise and declare words of power over your life, you are not simply speaking into the air. You are programming your heart, strengthening your beliefs, and positioning yourself to walk in authority. The mind listens to what the tongue repeats, and the heart aligns with what the mind believes. This is why what you say each morning has the potential to elevate your life or keep you trapped in limitation. Empowering truths act like seeds, and when spoken daily, they root themselves deeply into your consciousness, growing into actions, attitudes, and results that reflect strength and possibility. Success is not accidental, and neither is peace. They are both cultivated like a garden that requires planting, watering, and protecting. Affirmations are the watering of your inner soil. When you speak life into yourself consistently, you nurture the soil of your mind, allowing resilience to grow where discouragement once lived. Repeating empowering truths daily builds inner walls of strength that shield you when storms come. It reminds you that you are not at the mercy of circumstances, but equipped to overcome them. Every morning is a chance to set your emotional thermostat, and by doing so with intentional words, you align your spirit with victory. Repetition is powerful because it does more than inspire. It rewires. Neuroscience shows us that the brain creates patterns and pathways based on what it hears and rehearses. If your mind constantly receives words of fear, lack, and doubt, then it learns to operate from fear, lack, and doubt. But if you repeat words of faith, power, and success, your brain begins to carve out new highways of thought that move you toward a brighter reality. Over time, your internal dialogue shifts. Where you once said, I can't, you now say, I am capable. Where you once whispered, this is too hard, you now declare, I was built for challenges. The morning becomes your training ground for victory, your place of rehearsal for resilience, and your moment to set the stage for greatness. Resilience, that quiet force that keeps you standing when life tries to push you down, is strengthened every time you declare words of persistence and endurance. When you tell yourself, I am stronger than my struggles, you are not ignoring reality, you are equipping yourself to face it. You are reminding your spirit that setbacks are not final, that trials are temporary, and that you carry within you a power greater than the obstacles in front of you. By repeating truths of resilience, you build a fortress inside your mind, and when life tries to shake you, those walls of truth hold you steady. Peace, too, is cultivated in this morning practice. The world may bring chaos, but when you declare, today I choose calm, you reclaim control over your inner state. You stop letting external events dictate your internal reality. Every repetition of peace is a rejection of panic. Every declaration of calm is a shield against anxiety. With each morning affirmation, you remind yourself that stillness is not weakness. It is strength under control. You walk into the day carrying serenity like armor, untouched by the noise around you because you chose to align with peace before the noise even started. Success, often misunderstood as luck or external opportunity, is deeply connected to the words you rehearse. When you wake up and repeat empowering truths about your capacity, your vision, and your worth, you prepare yourself to see opportunities that others miss. You walk into rooms differently. You carry yourself with assurance. You approach problems not as insurmountable walls, but as puzzles waiting for solutions. The repetition of success-driven affirmations trains your mind to think solutions, to embrace challenges, and to see abundance where others see scarcity. Over time, this mindset draws opportunities to you because people are drawn to those who carry belief and clarity within them. There is a reason so many people start their mornings by checking their phones, scrolling through social media, or reading emails. They are unconsciously seeking direction, but they are letting external voices dictate their tone for the day. Instead of rising with power, they rise with comparison, anxiety, and distraction. But you, by choosing to speak empowering truths, flip the script. You tell yourself who you are before the world tries to tell you who you're not. You remind yourself of your worth before society tries to define it for you. You rehearse faith, not fear. You repeat vision, not limitation. That is the difference between drifting through life and living with intention. Think of it this way. Every morning is like the blank page of a book, and your words are the ink. If you do not write your own narrative, someone else will write it for you. And once the page is filled with doubt, fear, or distraction, it shapes how the rest of the day unfolds. But when you write the page with courage, faith, and truth, you set yourself on a path that aligns with the future you want. That is why repeating empowering truths matters. It ensures that you are the author of your own story, not a character in someone else's. Over time, what you repeat becomes what you believe, and what you believe becomes what you manifest. If you wake up every day and tell yourself you are capable, resilient, and worthy, eventually you begin to live as if those truths are undeniable. Your actions align with your words. Your decisions reflect your beliefs, and your outcomes mirror your inner dialogue. This is not wishful thinking. It is the power of consistency. Just as water can carve through rock over time, repeated words of truth can carve through limiting beliefs, reshaping the way you see yourself and the world around you. But repetition requires discipline. Some mornings you won't feel like speaking life into yourself. Some days will feel heavy, and the temptation will be to let silence or negativity fill the space. That is when the discipline of repetition becomes most crucial. Those are the mornings where your words carry the most power, because they are not backed by fleeting emotions, but by intentional choice. Every time you choose to repeat empowering truths on the days you least feel like it, you strengthen your mental and spiritual muscles. You prove to yourself that your consistency is stronger than your emotions, and your discipline is greater than your circumstances. The greatest battles you will ever fight will not be with other people, but within yourself, against fear, doubt, discouragement, and anxiety. And the weapon you carry into that battle is the truth you repeat to yourself. When you stand in front of the mirror and declare victory before the day has even started, you are not pretending. You are proclaiming who you are becoming. You are speaking from faith, not from sight. And in time, the reality around you begins to reflect the words you chose to believe. This practice is not about ignoring reality, but about redefining it. It is about looking at your struggles and saying, I will rise above this. It is about facing uncertainty and declaring, I will not be shaken. It is about acknowledging pain, but also affirming, this will not break me. Repetition gives you the courage to keep moving when everything around you tells you to stop. It equips you with peace when everything outside screams chaos. It strengthens your resolve when quitting seems easier. That is why it matters. That is why it transforms lives. Empowering truths are not just words, they are seeds of destiny. They shape your future because they shape the way you think, the way you see, and the way you act. And the beauty of this practice is that it is available to everyone. You don't need wealth, status, or talent to begin. All you need is the willingness to speak life into yourself each morning, to repeat words of power until they become the foundation of who you are. Day by day, repetition builds strength. Morning by morning, it rewires your mind. And eventually, you realize that success, peace, and resilience were not gifts handed to you by chance. They were cultivated within you by the power of your own words.